Welcome back to the channel with your man Wise. And today we got to check out this clip here from Piers Morgan. He has Dennis Quaid on there. If you guys recall, prior to the election, he called Donald Trump an asshole, but he's my asshole. I'm 1000% with this particular guy here. Our thoughts, our prayers are with him. And so many of these folks, or those folks out in California who has either lost their homes or who have had to evacuate, and they're, just kind of waiting things out. We know it's been a catastrophe. We know there's been incompetence. We know that no one really wants to take the blame, and it's a mess out there. Dennis Quaid is going to voice his opinion. He's going to give Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom the business. I'm here for it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
I think we all got a big lesson that our experience of reality, it can turn in a moment, just like that. And it's hard to comprehend. And that's when you need a higher power to lean on. To remember who you are, so you can take care of yourself and your family. And hopefully this is going to be over in a couple of days, and the rebuilding process is going to start in some months once you get all this toxic waste that is now on the ground cleaned up. The Palisades, it'll be back to what it was in 1901, where you have, these, I think it was probably a bean field back then.
Yeah.
And they're going to start again. So we have to start planning about how we're going to rebuild once this is over.
Do you fear, Dennis, that there'll be?
I don't really have a lot of confidence in our government.
Well, that's what I was going to come to.
For that.
I was going to ask you, because the government's come under multi-pronged attack, whether it's Governor Newsom, whether it's Karen Bass, the mayor, whether it's the fire department themselves. What are you feeling? I mean, the more you've learned, the more you've read, who do you feel is most to blame here for what's happened in terms of officialdom?
Well, Mayor Bass had 5 days warning about what could be record Santa Ana winds. They come every year. You don't have to wonder about that. They're going to be there, and that's usually the way fires start. And she chose to go to Ghana anyway. And when she came back, there's that video that went viral of
the Sky
her
News
getting
guy
off the plane, and that reporter, and yes, maybe she was ambushed or whatever, but to say nothing in that interview, you got to hit the ground running there to let people know that you're in charge, and you've already been doing things about it. And
He's absolutely right. The way she's handled the situation was just a massive failure. It's more or less, it's not so much that leading up to this tragedy, they ignored the scientists, they ignored the people that said that, hey, this would happen. They actually ignored the insurance companies. And then you go out of town, you leave the country, you come back, someone's asking you questions. The least that you could have done is said, hey, my thoughts and my prayers, are with those, that have already had to evacuate, that have already lost homes and things of that nature. I am here. We are going to do everything that we can to make sure that we take care of the people, the city of LA, the constituents of LA, and we'll have more details to come. That's really all she had to say. And for her to say absolutely nothing, it's a slap in the face to the people that put her in office. But it's also a slap in the face to the people out there that said that, oh, if you just put a black woman in place, if you just put a Democrat in place, if you just put a liberal in place, one of these far left progressives in place, that they'll make it happen and they'll be good and it'll be this utopia and everything will be great. And she's failing, just massive failure. Not only Karen Bass, but also Gavin Newsom, man.
There was no evacuation plan that it makes me wonder about the next earthquake, the next mudslides that are going to happen.
Yeah.
Planning for the future. It's about, look at an airplane. When the masks come down, they tell you to put your mask on first and then your child's. And that's what grown-ups do. And that's the way you both survive. And it's, I'm really in favor of a recall. I think it's that important to not wait for the next election, to have a recall of Mayor Bass and have an election. And this is not about Republican or Democrat. I have a question. Who would you rather rebuild the Palisades? Mayor Bass, who had all this warning, or Rick Caruso, who built the Grove. He built the Palisades Village, which is 99% intact. In fact, that's the guy that I want to rebuild this place, and to do it the right way, because, the mistakes, we have a long way to go, but the mistakes made at the beginning, it's going to be, the result is going to be ill-fated because of these mistakes made at the beginning. The way to do it efficiently and to keep an eye on the cost. Here's a guy he's a developer, he's a builder, he knows the community. What's it going to look like when it comes back? To have that feeling of a community. The Palisades Village, it took, that was quite an undertaking. It had so much opposition to it getting built over there. And he was patient and crossed every T. They had, he built the village with fire retardant materials, non-combustible. He has, they had their own fire station basically there, and crew who have protocols that, they had rehearsed what they were going to do years ago. And
Rick Caruso sounds like a forward thinker. For those of you guys that don't know who Rick Caruso is, Rick Caruso, he's a prominent real estate developer out in LA, responsible and mainly known for building out these, luxury shopping centers and properties and things of that nature. And it sounds like he is someone who's, one, a forward thinker, but who also understands the lay of the land. Obviously a businessman, not a civil activist, also known as a communist, socialist, Marxist, Leninist. We can keep going down the list. He's someone that's probably going to put the people in first. I'm not sure what his politics is. I don't know if he's a Republican or a Democrat. I would assume he's out there in LA. I'm just making an assumption that he's probably a, Democrat, but a little more to the center, I would assume. But I could be wrong on that. If you know more about him in the comment section, please let me know. Let's keep going.
They did that so that they could free up the city fire department to be able to save homes.
Right.
And then the running out of water in the fire hydrants is just unacceptable. I remember a couple of years ago over on Sunset Boulevard, right around the Palisades, Bel Air, fire hydrants bursting because they were old, and we haven't done the work on the substructure of our city. People don't even think about it until it's not there.
How much do you blame Gavin Newsom for this?
Gavin Newsom wasn't the mayor of Los Angeles, but he did. This is what happens with the woke philosophy that we've been living under for the last couple of this social experiment, I'll call it. He cut $100 million out of the fire protection for California. but we spent $3 billion for health care for illegal aliens. That doesn't make sense to me.
Priorities out of whack.
I mean, he has aspirations to be president of the United States one day, and purportedly has said he wants to make America like California. Do you think that's literally gone up in smoke now, that aspiration?
Oh my God, that's I don't think that's America, to tell you the truth. He talks a good game. There was that video with a woman the other day at the one of the fire sites, and he was that phone that he was supposedly on with President Biden. He was using that to his body language said it all. He was holding that out to keep her away, and at the same time he was reaching for the handle of the car. To get away from it all, because he realized the cameras were there and it wasn't a good look, rather than really thinking about this woman and the anguish that she was going through and being there for her, which was, she represented really all of us.
Do you think this will end up being Newsom's legacy?
I don't know. There's a long list to go down.
Yeah.
And there's one person within city government, and that is the fire chief, who had the guts to go on camera and really tell it like it was.
I thought she was very impressive. Yeah,
stripped.
I thought she was really impressive.
I had great respect for her.
Yes,
very impressive.
I felt the same way, because there'd been this whole debate about impact of DEI on the fire department, and this ridiculous video that one of them had put out saying, you want to have someone like me turn up to, which was obviously stupid and very woke and imbecilic in the message it was trying to convey. But at the same time, I thought that fire chief, when she came out, everything she has said has actually been incredibly direct, very impressive, but also it's not been contradicted or denied by any of the people she's talking about. You haven't seen Mayor Bass try to fire her or deny it or contradict it, which makes me think that everything she's saying is true.
We need a leader in our city who knows how to do things. You know, it's different issues now than what Mayor Bass was elected on. Okay, the social experiment, we tried it. It's now about rebuilding this city.
Yeah.
How many families are going to even be able to rebuild? How can you rebuild if you can't get your house insured? What's it going to look like? There's things like corporations are buying up droves of houses in this country, and what's the end result? How's that going to affect the American dream and of home ownership? Is it going to? Nobody wants to see the Palisades become rental property from a corporation, and we got to be careful, tread lightly, but we really have to have a plan, and I think Rick Caruso is the man to do that.
Wow. Dennis Quaid's absolutely right. A lot of people are walking on eggshells out there because Karen Bass is a quote unquote black woman, although I have been told that she may not be a black woman. She may be more Cuban, Hispanic, or something along those lines. I could be wrong. If you know better than me, let me know in the comment section. But Dennis Quaid's absolutely right. You need a leader. The social experiment, it didn't work. She got put into office because somebody said we need to elect a black woman. No different than Kamala Harris became the VP because they told Joe Biden and his camp, you must select a black woman. And the checkered past of a Karen Bass is just mind-blowing that, one, the information that we know about her today did not come out before she actually was elected. And I have to ask that if they knew her connections to Fidel Castro and to communism and to Marxism and to, to Leninism and things of that nature, would she be in the position that she's in? And the fact that people are upset, you have a lot of black people, black men, black women are upset because She is being chastised. She is being called to the carpet. That frustrates me because if you want positions of power, if you want to be in leadership, you must be willing to take the slings and the arrows. When things are going well, you're going to get credit. But when things go wrong, you have to take the blame. That is part of the job. Like I said yesterday, it's no different than if you want to become head coach of an NFL team, NBA team, manager of a Major League Baseball team, or, manager, of a professional soccer team or football club out there in Europe. When you're winning, they're going to show you love. When you're losing, they're going to come for your head. That is part of the job. That's why you make the big bucks. And the fact that they're trying to shield her from this, from this responsibility, and the fact that she hadn't stepped out there and taken any form of accountability, that is a problem. And she deserves to be recalled. And she deserves all of the criticism that she is receiving right now. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel thus far. The best way that you can support it is hitting that like button, obviously watching videos all the way through, sharing, clicking the share button down there and sharing it with people, Facebook, Reddit, so forth and so on. If you'd like to support the channel financially, consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your man a coffee. Link in the description box below. Keep God first in your life, stay prayed up, and we'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.